Okay, I woke up sick as a fucking dog. Luckily, it's my day off. But also, historically, when I look like shit, my videos get hella traction. So we'll see if that works this time. This is important. We've been talking about child marriage on this page. TikTok. This is for educational purposes only. The reason that we need to talk about this is because child marriage in the United States is very much a thing. And for some reason, in the year of 2023, Republicans are still defending it actively. So first of all, I do want to say that this does impact minor boys as well, and it is no less disgusting. But because we are talking about the correlation of young girls being impregnated by adult men and indoctrinated into a lifestyle of just continuing to reproduce, never getting a sense of identity, and falling into the ideology of white Christian nationalism because they didn't have the chance to know better, I am going to be talking about minor girls in this video. For the record, the youngest boy to ever be married was 11 years old to a 27-year-old woman in Tennessee. I'm 26, and when I was 23, I taught K through 8. The thought of this is making my fucking skin crawl. Unfortunately, it doesn't get better when we look at girls. Mind you, this is just legal marriage. A lot more nefarious shit happens under the table, but we need to talk about the fact that the legislators are allowing this to continue. 3 10-year-old girls, a 10-year-old girl married to a 24-year-old, a 10-year-old girl married to a 25-year-old, and a 10-year-old girl married to a 31-year-old man in Tennessee. Huge shocker. Since the start of this year, West Virginia and Wyoming both introduced legislation that would require a minimum age for marriage that was shot down by the GOP. And in Wyoming, we just saw Representative Mike Moon talk about a personal situation that he knows. He actually corrected himself. It's an 11-year-old he knows, married to an adult, and she got pregnant at 11, and now it sounds as if she's a little bit older. I don't even know if she's an adult yet, but his defense is that they're still together, because grooming doesn't happen in those years, right? Essentially, the loophole here is that these states require parental permission to be marrying off their children to adults. Anything branching from just being a sick fuck to desperation from financial issues, people will do this. It begs the question, how are they equal participants if the children can't even sign the document themselves? This is the exact same characters that we're seeing complain about drag shows and the presence of children and how that is sexualizing them and grooming them and not okay. But mind you, even though there are laws preventing sexual activity between a minor and adult in these states, it all goes away once you're married. It's legal. It's fine. It's encouraged, according to Mike Moon. This is a frequent excuse from preferential offenders who refuse to say they've done anything wrong. The scariest part is that these girls cannot get emancipated or divorced until they're 18 because they can't make legal decisions. I was taking a break, but evil doesn't take breaks. Y'all know this is a reproductive rights page. Am I the only one noticing that we're talking about child marriage way too much in the United States in 2023? We've seen lots of bans put into place or introduced in states all across the nation since Roe v. Wade was overturned. And states like Idaho, Mississippi, Missouri, Florida, Arkansas, the Carolinas, and worst of all, Tennessee, that doesn't even have an exception for the health of the mother. But all these states are not making exceptions for children getting pregnant. I've been making this correlation that pro-life is pushing for children having children since we saw Wyoming and West Virginia shoot down a bill that was introduced in each state requiring a minimum age for marriage. If you didn't know, a lot of states in the US don't have a minimum age requirement. Some of them do, and it's still kind of it's like 15, 16, but some have none at all. And of the 200,000 children that were married, legal minors, since 2000, yeah, most of them were 16, 17. Some of them were a lot younger, so naturally you'd think we should legislate that, right? Because guess what? If a grown man is married to a 12-year-old, it is not illegal for them to copulate and procreate. Meaning that as long as they have a parent's permission, a 30, 40-year-old man can impregnate a 10-year-old. Florida just introduced a bill that's being coined the Don't Say Period bill, where it would be illegal for teachers to discuss periods in school with students younger than 6th grade. A lot of girls get their periods in 3rd to 5th grade. It's getting younger because of the growth hormones in our food. So these girls aren't allowed to know what their periods are. We also have crisis pregnancy centers offering to track the menstruation of teen sports players in public high schools. Nothing nefarious there, right? And the GOP is shooting down these bills introducing minimum age requirements for marriage in their states, saying that as long as the parents give permission, it's okay. Or if the girl is pregnant, she should marry the father so they can have a normal nuclear family. Because that's fucking normal, right? For a 12-year-old to be bearing a 35-year-old's kid. I know what you're thinking. Stacey, that's such an exaggeration. That's not happening. 5 days ago, Missouri GOP Representative Mike Moon defended a grown man he knows who married a 12-year-old and impregnated her. His defense is they're still married today. And you know what? Stereotypes are right this time, because I was told the people who say shit like that most certainly look like that. That's Mike Moon. I know we would all like to think that parents are going to be responsible and teach their children about their periods or not marry them into child sex slavery to adult men. But this hits home. I actually volunteered in Missouri in 2015 in an impoverished area, and the preteen girls I worked with were getting pimped out by their parents to pay the bills. GOP claims they're protecting the unborn from their parents' poor decisions by legislating abortion. But marrying them off to grown men, that's up to you.